morning students, class 11. This is your new chapter going on, that is thermodynamics. In my live class I have already introduced about the chapter, but again something related to this I want to repeat so that it can get inside your mind. Actually, thermodynamics, what is the meaning of this word? Thermo means heat, dynamics means motion. So thermodynamics is something which is related to the flow of heat, motion of heat. Motion of heat means flow of heat. Flow of heat is related to a vast branch of chemistry, and many new terms you are going to come across in this chapter. There are three main new terms that you are going to come across, that is enthalpy, entropy and Gibbs free energy. So about those terms I am going to explain you later. Before that, some basic terms related with thermodynamics that you have to know, and then you will come to the main topic. Actually, thermodynamics is related with first system and surrounding. What is system? When we will study about thermodynamics, actually we are going to study about temperature, pressure, volume, heat, work done of a particular reaction or something which is going on. So what is system? System is something which is under investigation. The place or the area or or a container which is under investigation, what we are going to investigate, that is known as system. Other than system, whatever is there surrounding it, that is known as surrounding. So system plus surrounding both are going to make the universe. Other than system, everything is surrounding. So system plus surrounding is universe. Suppose in a classroom you are taking notes. So you are in a system inside the classroom. The classroom is system. Other than classroom, everything is your surrounding. For different purposes, the system will change also. Inside the classroom also a separate system can be formed. Suppose a teacher has told you to make group projects. So different groups have been formed inside the classroom. Each group is a system. Other than that group, whatever is outside, that is surrounding. So it depends upon that what is under investigation, that is system. Other than the place or the region under investigation, everything else is surrounding. Now next is this system and surrounding, they are separated by boundary. How can I understand that this is system and this is surrounding? There must be some boundary. Now that boundary can be of various types. The boundary can be real or imaginary. First, this one. The boundary can be real or imaginary. It is not necessary that there is always a boundary. Suppose inside the classroom, different groups have been formed, different groups are performing different experiments. Is there any boundary in between the different groups? No, there is no real boundary. But we have thought a boundary, that is an imaginary boundary. If there is no real boundary, that means it is imaginary boundary. Now real boundary means suppose inside your lunch box some food items are there. So those food items inside your lunch box, we are going to find out that what will happen if we keep it sometimes outside, means just keep some food items inside the lunch box, and then after one day we will observe that what has happened inside. So that lunch box that is under investigation, it is having boundary from all the sides. That is a real boundary. So real boundary and imaginary boundary is this. Second one is rigid or flexible. Rigid boundary made up of glass, made up of metal, made up of something rigid which is difficult to be broken or which is not, you cannot change the shape. That kind of boundary is rigid boundary. Flexible boundary, in actually chemistry and thermodynamic system, generally you are going to study about gases. A gas is kept in a container and over which a piston is there. So piston can be moved inward and it can be moved outward. So that is a flexible boundary. The piston is going to make a flexible boundary. A sponge, if I make a container lid made up of sponge or something else, so it will make a flexible boundary. Next one is diathermic or adiabatic, this kind of boundary. Diathermic means the boundary which is allowing heat exchange with the surrounding, that is called diathermic. Thermic, thermom related to heat. So the boundary which is allowing heat exchange of the system with the surrounding, that is called diathermic boundary. Suppose pressure cooker, in a pressure cooker you are cooking food, so it is diathermic boundary is there. That means it is allowing the heat exchange between the system and surrounding. Adiabatic boundary means the boundary which is not allowing any heat exchange between the system and surrounding. If the boundary is not allowing any heat exchange between the system and surrounding, that is known as adiabatic boundary. Adiabatic boundary means, suppose casserole, thermos flux, they do not allow heat exchange of the system and surrounding. So that kind of boundary is known as adiabatic boundary. Next, what you have to learn, to define a system we need certain variables. To define a system we need certain variables. Those variables are pressure, temperature, volume. Some more variables are there, I have not written. The variables are number of moles, entropy, enthalpy, Gibbs free energy, internal energy. These are the other variables. Okay. Before going to the variables, how to divide it into two types, another thing that you should know, system can be divided into three types: open system, closed system and isolated system. System can be categorized into three types: open system, closed system and isolated system. Open system means the system in which mass and heat both can be exchanged in between the system and surrounding, that is called open system. Something is kept in an open container. So mass and heat energy both are exchangeable. That kind of system is known as open system. Suppose in an open container I am boiling water. So water which was in liquid state, it will convert into vapor state and it will go to the surrounding. So there is an exchange of mass also and exchange of heat also. Both are possible. So that kind of system is known as open system. Closed system means the system in which only heat exchange is possible but mass exchange is not possible. Only heat exchange with the surrounding is possible, but there will be no exchange of mass. Example, pressure cooker. Inside the pressure cooker, I should not say pressure cooker because sometimes the mass also comes out. A closed container other than pressure cooker which I am heating. So if any liquid is there, it will change into vapor state and again it will be converted into liquid state inside the container only. I am not allowing the mass to be exchanged with the surrounding, but heat exchange is possible. Isolated system means the system in which neither mass nor heat, no exchange is possible with the surrounding. The system is not allowing mass or heat energy, nothing to be exchanged between the system and surrounding. That is hot water kept inside the thermos flux. That can be the example. Now, to define a system, I already told that some variables are needed. They can be divided into two parts. These variables are known as functions. These are known as functions of the system. So they can be considered as state function and path function. Some variables are known as state function and some are known as path function. Now what is the meaning of this, that you have to know. If you have pen, paper, write down the notes also. State function means those variables whose values does not depend upon the path. The values of variables does not depend upon the path. The values of these variables depend upon the initial and final value only. They are known as state function. The variables whose values depend only on the initial and final value but does not depend upon the path, they are known as state function. Path function means those variables whose values depend upon the path in which they have travelled, they are known as path function. Generally, whatever variables we are going to study, it has been observed that only work and heat, these two are path function. Work done and heat energy, that is path function. They depend upon the path. But temperature, pressure, volume, enthalpy, entropy, all these are state function. Actually, you might have learned about the term delta. Delta means difference. So you will learn about delta T, delta V, delta P. Delta T means change in pressure. Delta P means change in pressure. Delta T means change in temperature. Delta V means change in volume. So wherever delta term is there, they are all state function. Why? Delta means we are finding out the difference between the final and initial value. We don't have to go through the path. So wherever delta is there, they are all state function. So variables can be divided as state function and path function. I think it is clear to you. Yes, alright, it is clear. Now, these state functions can be written as extensive properties of the system or intensive properties of the system. Extensive properties and intensive properties. Now, what are extensive properties? Ex. X is there. It depends on the mass and size. The properties which depend on the mass and the size, both, they are known as extensive properties. Intensive properties, the properties which does not depend upon the mass and the size of the object, that is called intensive properties. Example of extensive properties: volume. Volume always depend upon the mass. Volume always depend upon the mass, so it is extensive property. Internal energy, whatever is the energy present. Internal energy means the sum total of all kind of energy present in the system. So internal energy means kinetic energy, potential energy, all kind of energy. So all together, all the energies that also depend upon mass. So volume, internal energy, mass itself, they are extensive properties. On the other hand, pressure, temperature, they does not depend upon the mass or size of the object. Refractive index of a particular material, it is having a constant value, so it also does not depend upon the mass and the size. Density does not depend upon the mass and the size. Another thing you can remember, that is, if the term in the intensive property, you can find that some property we are getting as, we can write in the form of extensive property by extensive property. In that case, that will be intensive property. Example, density. Density is actually what? Mass per unit volume. This is density. Mass is extensive property, volume is extensive property. So ratio of two extensive property will always be intensive property. Try to remember this. Ratio of two intensive property will always be ratio of two extensive property will always be intensive property. Any term, if you can write in the ratio of extensive properties, extensive by extensive, the answer will be intensive. Okay, so these are certain terms I told you. some more introductory term are there, that also I am going to explain now. Now some types of thermodynamic system. There are certain types of thermodynamic system that I have written here. Isothermal means types means process. Types of thermodynamic process: isothermal process, isobaric process or isobaric process, isochoric process and adiabatic process. Isothermal process means something which is under investigation, whatever we are calculating, the temperature is always remaining constant. In the whole process, the temperature is going to remain constant, other things can change. So, if the temperature is constant, that means delta T equal to 0. Delta T means final temperature minus initial temperature. So, if throughout the process the temperature is same, so initial and final, if you subtract, you will get the answer as 0. So delta T equal to 0, that is known as isothermal process. Similarly, isobaric process means pressure will remain constant throughout the experiment. The pressure of the substance will remain constant. If pressure is going to remain constant, definitely delta P equal to 0. Delta P means difference of final pressure and initial pressure, that is 0. Isochoric process, volume will remain constant. If the volume is going to remain constant, definitely delta B is going to be 0. Then adiabatic process, as I told you earlier, adiabatic means there will be no exchange of heat. Heat exchange is not possible with the system and surrounding. As there is no exchange of heat, so heat is generated by the term Q. It is written in terms of Q. So Q equal to 0. There is no exchange of heat. As Q is a path function, so we don't write delta Q. Q is never written in the form of delta Q because it is a path function. It does not depend upon only initial and final condition. It depends upon the path. So Q equal to 0. Now internal energy, that is denoted by a letter U. Internal energy is denoted by the letter U. What is internal energy? Sum total of all the energy associated with the system. It can be heat energy, it can be work done, it can be potential energy, it can be kinetic energy. Whatever kind of energies are associated with the system, all the sum total of the energy, that is known as internal energy, and that is denoted by the letter capital U. So today I gave you only this much. This is the introduction of the chapter. In my next video I will come with the other terms, law of thermodynamics, that is first you have to learn first law of thermodynamics. In my next video I will cover all those. So go through this video, try to learn the terms, try to make it inside your, get it inside your mind. Thank you.